Hey again. I hope you're adult enough to realize that I do not have to wear my gi all the time. Just because somebody's dressed up in a gi does not make him some kind of big old expert. In fact, most people that wear them are kind of showing off, but I don't need to. Too old for that. This is an update, and it is an update on the video that I posted about hand form, when you punch, basically, because I'm worried about punching, sort of. The reason this is coming up is because lately on YouTube, I've been shown a whole lot of videos now on bare knuckle fighting. People talking about how you're going to punch and how to do it bare knuckle on the bag and things of that nature. Now, if you want bare knuckle fighting, or actually training, the Makiwara is probably your best bet for that. The Makiwara, you learn a couple of things. You learn that you can hit with these two knuckles. And I found out, now my last video I was doing this with, I was like 75 years old. 2 years later, I talked about Arthur and his itis and how it was getting to me. All right, that has not really degenerated much, but I discovered something while beating on the Makiwara and beating on the bag, and that is, I don't even have to close my hand. That's right, I do not have to close my hand when I hit, because if you hit and it's a straight line here, not like that, that's stupid. That is absolutely stupid. You're going to hit mostly here and here. Very rarely you're going to whack in there. So from here. Now, I've been doing this for so many years. 60 years. I've been doing this now. And when you sit there and you hit like this, everything in the bone, the skeletal structure, everything is pretty much where it should be, and it's strong. You're not going to injure yourself doing something like this. And look, you've got a bend here in the wrist. I've watched people over and over beating on the bag and stuff like that, and their hands are like this. They're held like this, when it should be more like that. All right. Now I found out I don't even need to close my hand. If I hit with the first two knuckles, it doesn't matter if it's the bag or if it's the Makiwara, because I'm striking and my wrist is held in the proper position to hit, I don't even need to close my fingers. A little bit. So I hit with these two knuckles instead of these back here. But I do not need to actually close my hand all the way. So, I've seen people talking, and they say a whole lot of things. One person, said that the old standard of soft hits hard and hard hits soft, it's not really blah, blah, blah. And then he goes ahead and he says, when you're bare knuckle fighting, you don't hit with your full power. Well, that's right. You do not punch with your full power into the bones and things like that. But here's the key. He's sparring, what they call sparring. I call it a drill. He's sparring doing that, not hitting with power. Yeah, okay. If you get smacked and in the face, and it's even a low power strike, yes, it's going to do damage. That's why we wear headgear. Yeah. Who wants to have their teeth removed, their nose busted, your eyes black, ripped marks all over your face, because, oh, I'm going to do bare knuckle fighting. Sorry. Bare knuckle fighting, if you take a look at the heavyweight championships as they came up, you'll find sometimes those matches toe the line. Remember that? Toe the line. That's when you get knocked down, you get up and you go and you toe the line. That comes from boxing, from the early days of boxing. And they sat there 115 rounds. One heavyweight championship went from the time it started in the morning until the sun went down, and they couldn't continue it, and it was declared a draw. These guys were tough. They didn't break their knuckles normally. And then again, they didn't hit each other with such force that they were getting a lot of damage to their opponents. Their opponents just got back up over and over and over again. So, you fight like you train. If you train, for example, I don't even allow my students to use pad training. You know, where you got the pads up, they hit the pad, boom, 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 boom. I don't allow that. I want the strikes to go to the target area. You train for the target area. Yeah, okay, the target area is here, Pat, you hit it, but that's not the way the human being looks in your vision when you're actually fighting the guy. So I definitely disagree with pad training. Definitely disagree with it. Plus the fact, I notice, they don't hit that hard. Oh, they talk a big game, but you watch them, they're not really hitting that hard. You want to hit hard, use the bag, use the Makiwara. When you're actually sparring with your partner, we wear body armor because we hit and we hit hard. When I hit somebody in the body, I want a response. I want him to be not wanting to carry on. And if I practice all the time not hitting the power, that's what's going to happen. Because I don't want to have to think about hitting him with power. It should be automatic. And it is when you continue doing things like this. Now, do we always fight full power when we're in the Bogu gear? No. That's not the purpose of it. We fight full power when we're in competitions. Okay. That's when you got to shine. That's when the real pressure is put on you. Competitions, we pull out all the stops and we go. But also, a lot of people don't understand, we hit the arms. Yeah, we hit the arms. We'll strike the legs. Kick between the legs, woohoo, that's fun. With us, there's almost no rules to it. That's with Bogu training. But then again, that is not learning how to punch properly. It's how to punch with power and how to prevent getting your wrist or your fingers or anything hurt. But you practice on the Makiwara. You practice on the bag. Makiwara more important than the bag. But you practice with it over and over and over and over. You know, just like they say, not until you get it right, but until you can't do it wrong. Yeah, I know. It's a nice saying. It's true. Now, if your wrist is up like this, you are not going to hit properly. Also, we don't hit straight up and down. Actually, we tilt about 45 degrees. This is the way Oyata taught me. Not straight up and down. Definitely not that way. That way, about 45 degrees. Like I said in my other videos, why do we twist? Oh, because it's as a reminder of what you're going to do once you've hit the target. And the target selection demands different movements of your hand on the strike. That's subject for a very advanced type of situation. So, if you're going to bare knuckle fight, you're going to look like you've been in a fight with a junkyard dog. You're going to be ugly. You're going to be stupid looking. You're going to be stupid. Let's face facts. You're stupid to do something like that. Unless, of course, you're in some kind of competition. In that case, you're a little bit off in the head. I wouldn't fight in it. Heavyweight champion of the United States for 3 years, retired undefeated. I'm not going to go out and fight bare knuckle. That's insane, especially my age. But you have to hold your hand properly. And when you do hold it proper, you don't even need to form a fist. When you hit the body, when you hit the head, yeah, there are things you have to do to prevent yourself from getting hurt. And smacking somebody with an open hand, yeah. You whip that boogie in full power, and most people are going to go down if you hit correctly. Yes, smack them up alongside the head. No. You have to hit specific target areas. You have to hit the target area that causes the damage and what you want to be accomplished. You have to do that. And you have to train over and over and over and over. One more little small detail. And that basically is when you are practicing, you always go to the target. Always. You do not, oh my God. You know, I'm a military guy. Sure, I'm going to take my troops out and tell them, well, down there at 300 meters, I want you to aim at the target with your rifle, and right before you shoot it, move it off to the side, boom, see it. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to hit the target. Same thing with your punches and everything else along that side. There's a reason for the way our elders trained. And I'm not talking about the guys in the last 40, 50, 60 years. I'm talking about the guys that didn't have video recorders, didn't have the knowledge of other places. Yeah, I agree with that. There are several videos out. I'm going to put their little descriptions down the bottom where you can look at them. One person goes over very beautifully what happens when you hit people as far as damage to you, the way you can hit in different manners. In other words, if you hit this way, this will happen. You hit this way, this will happen. The percentages, these are taken out of medical surveys, and there's a reason the doctors call it a boxer's fracture. Your hands, when you fight in the street, are not going to be encased in gloves or almost anything else. You're going to be bare knuckle fighting. That's a fact. And you have to learn how to hit and strike so you do not damage your own hand. And you inflict maximum damage to him. Fingers, oh yeah, pop them in the eyes. And one very important thing, distraction. You have to distract him. One of the better ways is to step in and immediately do a palm strike right into his nose and up in here. That works wonders because it hurts, it's stunning, and for a very brief period of time, not long, very brief period of time, whatever was in his mind has now been kind of replaced with what you've just done. And like my friend over in Florida states, weapons defense, you don't get two bites at the apple. You go boom, hit, take him out. You have to strike and do your blocking motions, whatever you're going to be doing to prevent yourself from getting hit. You have to do it together. There's none of this. And one of the shocking videos I saw was somebody doing a block and then a strike with my teacher, Seiwa Uyada, sitting there encouraging it. This was later on. He never taught me that. He taught me block strike first. He taught me to make sure I distracted him from what he intended to do first. Together, he's finished. Train hard. Try to remember, a Makiwara is your best friend. I have a video out on how to make one. Pretty simple, very simple little Makiwara, and how to use it. 2 videos. How to make it, how to use it. It's a very simple Makiwara. In my dojo, we've got much more complicated devices because I want you to be able to train in many, many different strikes. Open hand strikes are fine if you hit the target properly. If you don't, it's not going to work too well. For now, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. And by the way, when I do something in a video, I'm doing it for instructional purposes. I'm not doing it to show off. There's no reason for me to sit there and brag about my abilities. I already got them. I've already done them. At my age, it's all history. I do not need to impress you with my wonderful ability to beat something while blah, blah, blabbing. Continuing to do it. Oh, full speed. There's this little Japanese guy, and he does all these beautiful katas. He does them Japanese style, which means, how do you do it? Not like Okinawans do, which is, why do you do it? But he does all these things, and he moves so fast, so nice and crisply, that you can't do a darn thing with it in reality. Now, he tries to make stuff up from their little things. It don't work, because he's trying to use the movements directly out of the kata for something, for self-defense. Okay, that's not their purpose. Never was their purpose. Can be their purpose if they're deliberately designed like that. But other than that, no. They're designed to teach you movements, balance, distancing, proper movements. Again, train hard, have fun, and hopefully I won't have to wait this long between times, but unfortunately, it takes quite a while to get between because of the weather and the fact that pretty much Yoshi, who I work with constantly, is very busy learning and trying to get his job set up. Take care. Bye-bye.